Hello, welcome back. As I had mentioned earlier, I just can't seem to leave well enough alone. I went ahead and I made some doors for this engine house and some lighting. Now there's two different types of doors here. There's solid doors and the doors that you can prop open. Now I'm assuming most people have doors that are going to prop open, but just in case somebody wanted to just put a solid door and close it off, like the bay is not being used or there's an engine in there, you can do that. All I did with these are two pieces. Print two of these, and I put a little piece of plastic in between for the windows, glued them together, and just painted them. Well, painted them before I glued them together, of course. As far as the lights go, it's like little ceiling lights here. And we'll go inside of these. Somewhat like that. Two of them. And we'll be running these little micro LEDs up through them. And there'll be four of them in there. So the doors I'm not going to do anything with. Like I said, the doors are just there to sit in place. Whenever I do get this on my layout eventually, I may glue some of the doors on how I may want them, but as of right now I just made them so that I had them. So why don't we go and put those aside for now. And let's get started on these lights. Now, it doesn't matter which goes where. I will say one thing though. You will have to take a little needle file, a little round file, and open up these holes just a little bit to get these to fit just right. It's a 3D printing process, so nothing's perfect. And even with these little nubs here that go up into the mounts, of course, you're going to have to take a flat file and file that down a little bit because it's not perfectly round. Again, that could be just my 3D printer settings. It could be just 3D printers in general. First thing we're going to do though is we're just going to get these lights glued into these brackets. These are pretty tight fit, so I think it's going to take much super glue to hold them in place. Boy, should have kept these together in sets, huh? She's definitely in there. Okay. While that's drying, I'm going to wire up these LEDs. Now this is my first time messing around with these little micro LEDs. I am definitely no wiring expert, and I'm just now learning about them. These were a nice little set I got off Amazon. It came with resistors to knock the voltage down if you want to wire these into 5 volts or 1 1/4. Yeah, just learning. But as it sits right now, I can run these. These are set to run off of 2 AA batteries straight out of the box. And I do know, just from messing around, I don't know if you can tell, but you got one that's copper colored, excuse me, and one that's silver. And the copper is the anode and the positive. So as far as the wiring goes, I'm going to try something. Don't know if it's going to work. I have a whole bunch of this old telephone wire that, I mean, who uses telephone wire anymore? So we're going to cut off a nice big old piece of this and see if this handles it. Don't know if these strippers will be able to handle this little smaller gauge of wire. Well, you know, no problem. Of course, if I had unlimited funds, I just go out and buy the right wire and the right colors, but use what we have. No, I didn't try any of this off camera. This is my first shot, my first attempt at even trying this. So we'll see how we do here. Well, that fit. Now the only reason I bought these is for this project right here. I usually buy those Christmas lights, the little LEDs that you find everywhere in the big box stores after Christmas for on sale real cheap. I have bunches of those, but even the smallest ones of those that I had were still too big for this. And this also opens up so much more for me. I can now maybe make some lights for some passenger cars that I'm making. We'll see. But I have a lot to learn yet about LED wiring before I can do that, that's for sure, because I would like to have it run off the track voltage. What do you think? Maybe I should put a little dab super glue in there to hold it in place, huh? Probably not a bad idea. I'm not continually fighting with them. I'll let those sit up and dry, and we'll come back and continue. Alrighty. Well, I already installed one off camera. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this, and to say it was a pain in the butt is a bit of an understatement. So let's see here. Which way these ones are going to be facing? Okay, these have to go this way. Okay, so what I'm doing first is I'm soldering the positive and the negative of the respective LEDs together. Which for me is much easier said than done. I do not have a proper fancy soldering station. I have this old craft soldering iron and whatever came with it. So, and I most definitely am not much of a solderer. Once I get those together, bring in my lead wires. Alright, sorry about that. I tell you, I now know why everybody uses those helping hands. I sure could use a set right about now. I've always seen them, had them in my hands a couple of times, and it's like, oh, I don't need that. Guess what? I need that. Alright, see if I can get this to work this time. That'll work, but I don't like the way it looks. Alright. As I said, I most definitely am not professional at this. Wasn't too bad. I like that one. I'll go for that one. And we'll do the same thing with the anode side, or negative side. Again, I can't get these things straight. It's all new to me. Come on, fingers. You notice I don't need nearly that much, so I snip her short. You have to tuck all those wires in that little channel there. phone or something. It's on there, but you don't ever get it. That's good enough for me. Let's unplug this thing before I burn the house down. Alright, first thing we're going to do before we even mess around with putting it in, see if these connections actually work. Okay, green is my positive, and this white and yellow is my ground. There we go. Maybe it's working. Okay. So, as you can see on this channel, this side right here is a little bit higher than that side, and that's going to go onto the inside of the engine house towards the roof opening, because I've allowed for the slant of the roof. So what we need to do is we need to tuck these wires in this channel. Now I know that everybody would be like, oh, you need to use shrink wrap on this, and I agree. I wish I had some, and I wish I had something small enough that would fit in here, but alas I do not. So we are just going to go and shove it in here, and we're going to keep them, the connections, separate from each other as best I can. So bring that one up short. Now to do this, I don't know, I want to say right or over again. I probably should have cut all these wires just to the right lengths. But like I said, I'm new to all of this. So get her in there. I have just little wooden kebab actually. Can help me get these shoved down in here a little bit. This is good practice. Like I said, I'm really considering trying to figure out how to light up some passenger cars that I've printed. That'll be our next video set. Okay. Well, come on now. Now that these are all in here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this whole channel with quite a bit of super glue that can help hold them in place. A lot of super glue, huh? Probably the most expensive thing I'm using on this build is a super glue. I'll run this along so we get it on the rails. Okay. Now I already have the other one installed. That's kind of what it looks like. I use these little paper binders, paper clips, whatever they're called, to hold it in place. We'll do the same with this next one. I'll tell you what though, these wires are a pain in the butt. There, get out of the way. Okay. Like I said, the tall side goes to the interior opening. Just get her in place as best we can. Get rid of that, 'cause that's a heavier I thought it was. Sorry, I had you off camera there for a second. These are small clips, but there's still not much room to work here. Okay, that's there. Come on, fingers, work for me. Okay. All right. Well, it's in. That's the mess it looks like for right now. So let's let her get dry. And I have this little T-bracket I made. It's going to go across the back to hide the wiring, run the wiring down the back. So let this set up, come back, install that, finish up.